Up next, Ladarius Memphis Miller versus Marcos Jimenez. And then remember, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Time, tune in to Showtime for the Mayweather Promotions triple header. As Jimenez is making his ring walk from Pupe Alto, Puerto Rico, same city as Felix Tito Trinidad. 24-9, taking on Ladarius Memphis Miller, who fights here out of Las Vegas. Miller's 26 years old, Jimenez is 34. Miller, of course, is a southpaw. Jimenez is a standard fighter, orthodox. Both fighters are 5'9". Jimenez has 9 losses, but he's been in with a lot of top fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the next attraction of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing in the super lightweight division. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout will be Tim Cheatham, Lisa Giampa, and Max DeLuca. Also at ringside, the review official is Joe Cortez. And in the ring, the band playing the long window bell sounds, referee Robert Bird. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing aqua and silver trim trunks. He weighed in officially at 137 1/4 pounds. His professional record, 24 victories, 9 defeats, 16 of his victories coming by way of KO. Fighting out of Pupe Alto, Puerto Rico, presenting El Tigre, Marcos Jimenez. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He won it officially at 140 3/4 pounds. His professional record, 20 victories, 1 defeat, 6 of his victories coming by way of KO. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Memphis, Tennessee, presenting Ladarius Memphis Miller. Once again, referee Robert Bird for instructions.
I gave you gentlemen your instructions in the dressing room. They remind you now. When I say stop, what that means is stop whatever you're doing, give me a clean break. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Now, anything on the band and up is good. If it's on the band and up, it's going to be good. Gentlemen, let's do this.
And here we go, round number 1. Ladarius Memphis Miller taking on Marcos Jimenez. It's our last bout of our live stream. This is scheduled for 10 rounds in the super lightweight division. Jimenez right hand there, just landed, glancing blow. And like I said, Jimenez has been in with a lot of top fighters, mostly to 135 pounds. Both fighters continue to fill each other out. Thank you everybody for tuning in. A special shout out to all the fans that stuck with us the whole way through. Y también a los latinos que están aquí mirando, disfrutando las peleas. Nice right hand there by Memphis. left hand, excuse me. That left hand was partially blocked by Jimenez. Jimenez with the body shot. Another left by Memphis connects. That's it for round one. Again, we're here, Samstown Live, the final fight of our stream. We had a total of 7. And remember, 10:45 p.m. Eastern to tune in to Showtime as the Showbox triple header will commence. We have another guest for you guys making his way over here. As we get ready for round 2, Memphis Miller, Marcos Jimenez. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another guest for you guys. 168-pound IBF world champion Caleb Plant in the house here enjoying the Mayweather Promotions cards. Caleb, man, what do you think so far?
Man, been a good night to fight so far. Got Memphis Miller in there from the home state, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Been knowing him for a long time, and just super excited to see him in there doing his thing. So.
I know you have a little bit of experience yourself doing a little commentary on some of these fights.
Mm-hmm.
What have you thought just, we saw Vidal Riley fight.
Mm-hmm.
Were you here for Linnell's fight?
I had just walked in and missed it, but I heard he stopped him in the 4th round. I don't know how he did it, but.
It was out cold, right hand.
Right hand.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yep. And like you said, you're home state guy here.
Yeah.
Memphis Miller, what do you think? I know you've seen him in the gym before.
Oh, yeah. We've been knowing each other since we was little kids. And right now he's boxing well. He's keeping his distance, using his jab, giving a little side-to-side, back-and-forth movement, not being a standstill target. So he's boxing well right now, keeping his composure. But, he's got to stay at it.
And we just saw you in the ring a couple weeks ago. I'm going to attempt to say his last name, Feigenboots or something like that.
It don't even matter no more.
But, yeah, you dominated the fight, and then the fight was mercifully stopped finally.
Yeah.
Now that you've had a couple weeks, how do you rate that performance? I'm assuming it's an A+, but what do you say?
I feel like we still yet to see the best of Caleb Plant. There's still big fights, great fights to be made, and they will get made. But let's see, a grade, I haven't even really thought about it. Probably an A, B+, something like that. So string together good combinations. I feel like I showed a little bit of everything, inside, outside, offense, defense, off the front foot, off the back foot. So, but just continuing to work hard and, work on getting better. So.
We're here with Caleb Plant, IBF super middleweight champion, and that seemed like one of those fights where you can work on things, like everything. You made it look easy. So was that kind of? I mean, you're not playing around in there, but you're trying maybe to see if this works, just for future fights. You know what I mean?
Well, we kind of had a game plan going in, and I stuck to it. And it may look easy, but it's not.
Right?
All that easy.
It's all working there.
Yeah, it's all working there, and it's knowing what to do and when to do it and how to do it. So been doing this for a long time. It's really starting to come together now, and so.
And all the fans always ask. You probably get tired of his name, Benavidez.
Yeah.
Do you think we see it this year? Is it going to be next year? I mean, I know you would take it tomorrow if you could.
Yeah. Well, I posted something recently where in writing, and then I also posted a video of Sampson, his promoter, talking about how they don't want to take that fight right now. They want to wait, and So I can't really speak for him and his team. Those were their words, but you never heard anybody on my side say that or want to wait. I'm ready to get in there and get going whenever they are. So.
Yep, that's into round 2 here with the Memphis Miller fight against Marcos Jimenez. And yeah, I mean, there's always pros and cons. Like we just saw Wilder and Fury. It ended up waiting a year longer than it was going to, but it ended up being a lot more money for both guys.
Yeah.
So, but as a competitor, you just want those belts and that glory, I'm assuming, is what you're looking for more than the money and the other stuff.
I mean, I'm not in it for money. Of course, I turned pro to make money.
Right.
Otherwise, I could have just stayed amateur. But I'm in this for legacy. I want my name to live forever. I want to become immortal in the sport of boxing. And, you do that by fighting the best. And so that's what I'm looking to do. But, you can't force anyone's hand in there. It takes two to dance. And, there's a lot that goes behind a big fight like that because that's the fight that everybody wants to see. I feel like in the sport of boxing, that's probably one of the biggest fights that everyone wants to see. So it's coming. I'm pushing for it, but we'll see how it falls.
Absolutely. And just for my own curiosity, your strength and conditioning coach said, man, Caleb could fight 160 to 175. I don't know if you saw the story. But I know you're entrenched at 168, but are those plans in the future to maybe move up or move down, become a multi-division champion?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No time soon. I'm going to be here at 68 for a long while to beat all the guys that are here now. And then I'll be in the super middleweight division waiting on these middleweights to move up, all the big-name middleweights. So I'm going to be here for a while, so I better get used to me.
And now we see Jimenez trying to be a little bit more aggressive against Miller.
Yeah, he's starting to, he's trying to close the gap. Memphis is still boxing well, keeping his distance well, being the ring general, kind of dictating the pace, but still a ways to go. So.
And you had to wait for your title shot, not as long as Miller's had to wait. Whoa. That looked like he hit him from behind and wrapped the punch around?
A little bit, yeah.
But the ref should have probably jumped in there maybe if he was thinking his back was turned. I mean, it's the fighter. You're supposed to fight till they tell you to stop in that situation.
Yeah, you also don't want to hit an opponent that's turned around, not just for the simple fact, you don't want anything crazy to happen where maybe you get disqualified.
Exactly.
Simply, and, where you were already outboxing a guy. You gotta be smart, but sometimes it's hard to pull every punch, so.
Right, and then some of these guys, like Jimenez, has been in 34 fights.
Yeah.
He may not have been that hurt and went down on purpose hoping to get a disqualification. You never know.
Yeah, it didn't really look like he was hurt until the crowd kind of reacted. He kind of went down. And, but then he realized, I better not go through with this. Let me get on up and keep on fighting. So I don't think he was hurt. He was just trying to – he was second-guessing himself for a second.
Yep. And now they're both starting to exchange punches here.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, Miller, already has 26 wins. He had one setback, but God, seems like years ago now. Do you think he's ready at 135 or 140 for a world title shot?
If not, I know he's really close. I've seen him put together some real beautiful wins. Tonight he's boxing well. He's keeping his distance. I'd like to see him use a couple more feints. There's a good one right there. See, it stopped his opponent in his track. So I like how he's using his feints now, keeping him guessing. But he's got a good jab. He boxes well. And so if not, he's right there at it for sure.
And talking about commentary, obviously your wife is very well known for what she does. But do you enjoy it when you're in there? It's got to be nice getting paid without getting hit, too. You know what I mean?
What, to commentate?
Yeah.
It's cool. I really love the sport of boxing. I'm a fan of it. I'm a student of it. It's something that me and her study all the time. I hope, live with my whole family. And so, I enjoy talking boxing for sure. Great. That was a good uppercut.
Yep.
By
Jimenez.
Yep. He can't get caught up sitting on the ropes or in the corners. That's where, his movement is not going to be as well. He's going to be cornered. So.
And just talk about the psyche of a boxer sometimes. Like he was knocked down. We don't know how hurt or if he just went down. But when you let a guy kind of get back in and have some success, a lot of the game is mental. Where if you're constantly moving, they can't hit you. You can frustrate them and just. Where it's almost like they're fighting against two people, you and their own brain, like, I can't get this guy.
Yeah. The puncher is a lot of times going to have a little more difficulty in the beginning of the fight, closing the gap on a person with good boxing, good movement, good IQ. As the fight goes on, the boxer may wear down and they may begin to close the gap a little more. And, with a stylistic matchup like this, it's really a test of wills. Who can impose their will on the other one? Can the boxer impose his game plan and stick and move, or can the puncher, impose his game plan and his will and, walk him down? So it really takes a lot of mental fortitude, at the highest level to be able to keep momentum or take momentum back if you lose a little bit. So it's really a lot to it.
And well, you see they're stepping on their feet now. You got the right. He's doing it on purpose, I think.
I'm not sure. I know a lot of times with a right-hander and a southpaw, people, it looks like you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Marquez was pretty good with that with Manny Pacquiao back in the day.
Yeah, it tends to happen on accident a lot against a right-hander and a southpaw, but, it's also a tactic he could use to, keep him from moving away from him, kind of pin him with his front foot and try to let some punches go, or at least try to trip him up or stumble him.
Yeah, we see Miller going back in the ropes, and I think that's the worst place he could go. If he stays in the center of the ring, for someone with his speed and elusiveness, it's a lot better.
And he'll be able to slow the pace down a little bit more if he sticks to his feints. He's kind of gotten back away from him. That's going to, every time you stick a hard feint in a punch like that and he bites on it, it freezes him for a second. Slows the pace down a little bit.
That was a nice shot Miller landed there.
Yeah, but Jimenez landed one on the way out as well. So, when you slide out, you got to keep that front hand up, or at least that front shoulder up, trying to deflect something.
We've seen a lot of knockdowns where the first guy that lands isn't the one that stays on his feet.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And assuming we don't get that fight, we mentioned Benavidez. I mean, you came out clean from your fight. You were barely touched. Yeah. When do you want to get back in the ring? I know it's still early. Obviously, it's only been a couple weeks, but do you have a target date that you like?
Well, it was just like about a week ago. It was a week ago that I fought. And, I didn't really get too many scrapes or bruises from the fights. But a lot of times it's not the fight that you have to rest from. It's the training camp that you have to rest from. The miles you put in, the sparring, all the rounds, the mental fortitude it takes to go through a top-level, 8-week camp like that. So really I'm just kind of letting my body recoup from that, keeping my weight good. And, here soon I'm going to get right back in the gym and get right back to working. So.
And that's kind of like some people say, I made $1 million in one night, whatever the purse is. Yeah. And it's like, you don't really make it in one night. You made it in about 2 months to 3 months, depending on how long your camp was.
No, you really made it in about 17 years.
Well, yeah, everything you put into it.
Everything, is what got you that moment. A lot of people think that it's just, one night and they see all the glitz and glam and, cameras flashing, and they don't think about, a lot of these fighters spend 8 weeks away from their families, their kids, trying to provide a way for them. So it's really a lot that goes into, the highest level of boxing.
And you've headlined 2 PBC cards in a row on Fox. Great ratings, great numbers. Is that, I'm sure you just want to continue building the momentum.
Yes, definitely. And I actually wanted to get Ladarius, Memphis Miller on this last card, February 15th. I pushed for that and I asked for it, but I guess it never came to fruition. But I know we'll be back there soon, and when we do, if everything goes right tonight, of course, which I'm sure will, love to have Memphis on the next Tennessee card.
Yeah, he had a rough end to the last round, but he seemed to finish out this round pretty well in the 4th round. And a fighter as yourself, you're very, you can knock a guy out, you can box him for 10, 12 rounds, where Miller seems like he's more just pure boxer. He doesn't quite have the same power at his weight class. Just talk about how a fighter like that, if you really can't knock a guy out, you have to go in with the mindset of going the full 10 or the full 12, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, he may not have the most pop on his punches, maybe some of the other people in his weight class, but maybe that's something that he's still developing and working on. And but like you said, he's got great boxing skill, and he's been, using his great boxing skill tonight, using his jab, using his distance. So, you don't always have to have the most, boxing that's hit and don't get hit. And thus far, he's doing a pretty good job of that. So.
Exactly, and you've had 2 knockouts in a row, so you've shown your versatility. The fight before, you dropped Uzcategui, was it twice, if I remember correctly, and just beat him up. So is that something, are you looking, because, they say fans like knockouts, blah, 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 but at the same time, you don't want to take those chances or take unnecessary punishment. So how do you balance that?
Well, I feel like my punching power is really starting to develop, and the biggest reason for that is there was a point where I had a lot of hand issues, and for about 5 or 6 fights, every fight, I would hurt my hands early in the fight, and it would make me second guess, my punch output and my punching power. And but since we've gotten, Jose was the first fight where I didn't have any hand issues, and you see what happened with Jose. And then, everything's been good since then. You see what I did to Mike Lee and also the German. So, now that there's no hand issues and I'm able to sit down like I want, I'm kind of getting back to my old style of fighting and let my hands go more.
In this fight here, you see Jimenez is complaining of low blows, and Robert Byrd saying, "Nah, just continue fighting."
Yeah, I mean, this chunk's a little bit high. I haven't really seen nothing go too low. I haven't been watching specifically, though, for that.
Yeah, that to me is where he doesn't want to be. He's got to get back in the middle of the ring.
Definitely. He needs to, he could tie up, neutralize his offense and spin him when the ref says break, take a half step back, and he'll have the whole ring behind him. But there you go. He's starting to wrap him up now. He needs to turn him.
And put him into the corner.
Yep. He doesn't even have to work right there if he wants. He let him turn him back around. Now he's back on the ropes.
Yeah, but he held on, let Robert Byrd break him up.
Yep, came back to the center. Smart move, smart move.
They want to go at it. Robert. He got a couple sneaky punches in there. This fight's getting a little rough now and there, isn't it?
Yeah, they're making Mr. Byrd get his money's worth tonight, making him work.
And of course,
that's what Miller's opponent needs to do. He needs to rough him up. He needs to make it an ugly fight and, make him uncomfortable, get in his chest. But, from everything I know from Ladarius, he's got a lot of mental fortitude. He knows how to stay focused and stick to the game plan.
Well, Caleb, thanks for joining us. Congrats on a great, almost perfect victory a week ago. And we hope to hear the announcement for your next fight soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You want a water? That was Caleb Plount, 168-pound super middleweight champion, IBF, giving his thoughts on his fellow Tennessee native, Memphis Miller. Here in a tough fight, you saw Marcos Jimenez just wink at Miller at the end of the round. We're going to round number 6 here. Miller had the early lead. You saw that it got a little bit rough there the last couple rounds. I think Jimenez might have won a couple. Miller, as the Las Vegas-based fighter, has a lot of fans in attendance, but I see here on the stream, Miller and Jimenez too has a lot of fans. Here's round 6. We're live from Sandstown Hotel and Gambling Hall here in Las Vegas. It's the Mayweather Promotions live stream. It's the 7th and final bout of the stream, but make sure you tune in to Showtime for the triple header taking place at 10:45 p.m. Eastern. It's a nice shot by Jimenez as Miller goes back into the ropes, which is probably not where he should be. Both fighters starting to exchange punches now. Nice left hand to the body by Miller. Another one. He just turned Jimenez. I think he felt that. Ooh. That left buckled Jimenez a little bit. Now Miller's trying to back out, take a little break, as they say. But the ropes is probably not the place he wants to be. Nice body shot there by Miller as he continues to circle away from his orthodox opponent. And you see, most of the time when Jimenez is stepping in, he's trying to step on Miller's foot to slow him down. It's a veteran tactic when you have a righty and a lefty in there. See that again, just steps on him. As Caleb and I talked about, Juan Manuel Marquez did that lots of times in that fourth fight. Well, some of the other ones too against Manny Pacquiao, but that knockout victory he produced. But for a lefty-righty matchup, we haven't had too many headbutts, which can happen a lot. As Miller goes back into the ropes. That looked like the old Matador and the Bull as Miller stepped away, and Jimenez actually hit his head right into the corner there in the turnbuckle. We have one more guest for you guys coming up here. Former 2-division world champion Badu Jack had a hell of a fight with Jean Pascal. He'll be joining us here for the second half of the fight as we wrap up this live stream. Remember, 10:45 p.m. Eastern, tune in to Showtime for the Mayweather Promotions triple header on Showbox. And here we go. We have former 2-division champion Badu Jack joining us. The mic is on. Mr. Jack, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. So what do you think of these fights so far?
Great fights. Great fights. I was impressed with the stoppage in Bellows fight.
Yeah, I saw you over there seeing that. I mean, he hit the deck. I think it was the second round, and then he got up and dropped him. And then, man, that second knockdown, he had him asleep.
Yeah. I mean, the first when he got dropped, it was more of a balance shot. He was out of balance, but you know the ref got to count still.
Yeah, you could see he got up and he was fine, but when his opponent Malcolm Jones went down, he was wobbly from that point to the rest of the fight, leading up to the second knockdown. Did you think it was just a matter of time before he was going to go?
Oh, definitely. Linnell punched hard and lights out.
And as I was mentioning, Linnell KO Bell has had some ups and downs in his career, but this was exactly the kind of win he needed. A 15-1 opponent, and I mean that's one of the top knockouts of the year so far. It has to be.
Oh, definitely. He's one of the hardest workers in the gym, and I wish him nothing but the best.
And right now we have Ladarius Memphis Miller taking on Marcos Jimenez. It's a tough fight. It's been real rough and tumble in the last few rounds. What do you see so far?
I mean, I think Memphis got to let his hands go a little bit more, but he's doing some good body work.
Seems like he's going, maybe letting himself get pushed into the ropes a little bit too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He got to let his hands go. Don't let the other guy, pressure him too much.
Because when the fight's in the middle of the ring, Memphis' speed just seems to be too much in his footwork.
Yeah, and he got very good accuracy too. But the other guy's kind of outworking him too. So even though he don't land anything, clean, still throwing more punches.
Nice right hand there by Jimenez. I was talking to Caleb Plant about this. We know Memphis has really fought, push to get a title shot. He had a setback a few years ago, but he's won every fight since then. How close do you think he is for a title shot, either at 135 or 140?
I'm not sure.
Nice
I
body
heard
shot.
rumors he might fight an eliminator. I'm not sure if it's true or not.
But you think this is his time now? Assuming everything goes well in this fight that we're watching right now?
Yeah, you just got to stay disciplined and stay focused and working hard, and his time will come.
And what about you? You're in a Fight of the Year contender fight against in your last fight when you fought Jean Pascal. You went down early. He went down late.
Yeah.
There's been rumors you guys might fight. I know you don't have anything finalized unless something's happened in the last couple of days. But is that still a rematch you're looking for?
Yeah, I hope to get it. I won that fight and they robbed me, and I just want to settle the scores once and for all.
It's a nice shot there by Miller. And assuming you got the fight, is it a whole new strategy from either of you guys, or are we just going to round 13, in your opinion?
We're going to round 13, but of course we're going to fix the mistakes we did in the first fight. But I still won that fight, even though I got dropped in the fourth round. It was not that bad, but it was still, it was a good shot, and yeah, We're gonna do better next time.
Yeah, you could definitely see the difference in the effect of your knockdown versus his knockdown. Not taking anything away from him, but you were up and you were in good shape, whereas he was in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. No, that knockdown that woke me up. So after that, I won every round. So.
And was it just, you're traditionally a slow starter anyways, but was there something you started doing different late, or was he tiring, or what did you notice?
Yeah, I broke him down, beat him up. Nobody landed that many jabs, against him in his whole career. I broke him down, beat him up. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, no, like I said, that was one of the best fights. We're going to round 8 here. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds. A big fight for someone like Memphis Miller, and for Jimenez too. If he's able to pull off an upset, there's a lot of ways he can go from there. When you watch these type of fights, what do you look for? I mean, Memphis is someone who's a friend. He's in the gym with you for several years. But do you look for certain things just as a fighter, or you just kind of like sit back and try not to overthink it and just watch it as a fan?
I mean, I watch it as a fan, but he gotta. Even though this might not be a title fight or eliminator, this is considered like a small fight or a tune-up or whatever. You still gotta stay focused. Still gotta, train and fight like it's a world title fight. So you just gotta stay focused. He got all the skills in the world, and he's a good kid. You just gotta stay focused.
Because when you put something like Lanel Bellows did, that's like going to be all over Instagram. People are going to be posting that video and on Twitter and retweeted 100,000 times or whatever. I mean, even these fights that aren't quite for title fights or eliminators, they can still mean a lot to your career. Obviously, a loss is a setback, but a highlight reel victory can really set you up for bigger and better things.
Absolutely. You got to start somewhere. It's not like you're going to be 1-0 and then you're going to be a superstar or fight for the title. It takes time.
And we see Jimenez is really pushing the action.
But he's not a bad fighter.
Nope, and that's what we were talking about. He's got 9 losses, but he has a lot of experience, and he's been in with the top guys. And as you know, a lot of guys with losses like that, they take fights on short notice. They go in there with 3 weeks, 4 weeks, where their opponent has 8, or they take a fight at a weight or 2 class higher than they're used to. So sometimes you can't always just go by the record.
Exactly.
You've been in with some tough guys. How many has there been in a row? World champions or former world champions? Like 7 or something like that? I lost count. 8
in a row. 8 in a row. No tune-up fight. No easy fight.
And I mean, you've been doing this a long time. How much longer you want to continue boxing?
I don't know. I feel young still, so I'm not gonna say I feel young, but I feel good. As far as my sparring, my throwing punches, my runs, everything, I'm doing better times than
So you're faster now. Wow.
Yeah, like my heart rate, it was the best ever in my career in my last training camp. So everything, I feel great. I take care of myself. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do nothing, outside of boxing. I try to take care of my body.
That's a big key. Now we're seeing this fight. It's been rough. We see him holding right now, slapping each other. We saw he just did a headbutt to push Miller into the round earlier. If you were Memphis right here, what do you do to combat that? You see he's got his arm.
I mean, if the opponent's dirty,
He looked like he was hurt a few seconds before that. Is it going to count that as a knockdown?
No. Got to get a 1.
For hitting him when he was sitting down. Oh, he took a point. I think when he was sitting on the ropes.
Yeah.
Was there a little bit of acting in there, or do you think that was justified?
To be honest, I didn't pay too much attention, but yeah, probably. Robert Bird is a great ref, so he was probably right.
But what do you do when you get a guy that's kind of rough in there like this? If you're Miller and if your game's speed and you need to stay where he's at right now, but the guy keeps pushing you into the ropes.
You gotta stick to the game plan, but sometimes somebody's rough, if you're dirty, be dirty back, or but don't lose focus on what's in front of you. Stick to your game plan and do what you have to do to win the fight.
You see there's a big welt under the left eye of Jimenez. And we know you want to tell all the fans that are tuning in on the Facebook live stream here, Badu Jack, 2-division world champion, about your foundation. For the people that don't know about it, what you got going on.
Yeah, so we started the Badu Jack Foundation a couple of years ago. So our mission is to give kids all over the world a fighting chance in life. So we work with some refugee camp, Palestinian, Syrian refugee camp. Work with some kids orphaned in Gambia, where my dad is from. Yeah,
Please report to the back of the locker room.
Yeah, we're trying to be one of the biggest foundations in the world.
Please report to the back of the locker
Yeah,
room.
we're doing a lot of work with that.
To get paid. Thank you.
And people can visit MartyJackFoundation.org for more information.
And we know you've put on some fights in Dubai now too.
Yes.
What can you say about that and your what you're looking to do, maybe your future plans once you're out of boxing, as a fighter anyways?
Yeah, so we did a show. Actually, Vidal Riley that was just fought. He was the main event on that show. It was actually half kickboxing, half boxing. It was a big sold-out venue. It was a great success, and we'll see. Now also I got my own fights, so it's been we were supposed to have another show in like September, October, but then I was in training camp, and then after that, now I might go straight into a training camp again. So we'll see when the next show is.
Yep, and we have Memphis Miller fighting Marcos Jimenez here in the ring, and Badu Jack, 2-division world champion with us. And yeah, you have to have a good team around you when you're trying to put on shows, plus train for your own fights, plus you have a family and everything else that's going on.
Yeah, it's full-time schedule.
Some more warnings here from Bird. Bird's definitely earning his money in this fight.
Yeah. He's one of the best referees in Vegas.
You see that Memphis has his arm held, and he's still throwing that left hand, trying to fight through it.
Yeah, I think he should use his jab a little bit more. His setup is good, it's good uppercut or his counter punches. But you got to use his jab more.
This Sam's Town Live series by Mayweather Promotions been going on for a couple years now. That was a nice left hand there by Miller. Stopped him dead in his tracks. It's been a lot of great fights. We've seen big upsets. We've seen prospects move up, guys fight for titles. Just what do you think since this series has started?
No, it's great. It's great. I think this is the only local boxing show in town right now that they have every month or every other month. So, I think it's a great thing for boxing, especially here in Vegas.
Yeah, usually here it's the real top level fights or nothing.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have these guys that are still on their way up, or guys that were up and they went down and they're trying to make their comeback. Oh, that was a nice shot.
Yeah, looks like he hurt him with the left hook.
That looked like it might have been low by Jimenez. Yeah, both these guys are going to need a nice rest after this fight. They've both taken some punishment, both legally and illegally.
Right.
But it all hurts the same, right?
Yeah, definitely. Probably the illegal punches hurt more.
And you had that hellacious cut against Marcus Brown, and I'm looking at it right now. That held up fine against Pascal.
Yeah, I got headbutt with him too, but nothing happened.
Do you still have to get it checked out by a doctor every so often, or it's just done?
No, it's done. It was one time. They stitched it up. Came back a month later. Everything's good.
We had, of course, the big fight last week, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. What did you think of that?
I was very impressed by Tyson Fury. He did great. He did what he said he was going to do.
And here we have Miller with maybe a tougher fight than some people expected, but Jimenez, like I said, has been in with a lot of tough guys. He's pulled off upsets before, and he's looking very tough and willing to do anything it takes to win. That was a nice left hand by Miller there. Just run out the last few seconds of the round here. Be our last round here, the 10th round. Remember, the live stream will be over, but Showbox will start 7:45, 10:45 p.m. Eastern on Showtime. Ring car girl's still full of energy, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for both fighters. This is the 10th and final round.
You're a fighter that closes fights very strong. That's what you're known for. How important is it for Miller to win this 12th round, or 10th round, excuse me?
I mean, it's important to win every round, but, you know, it's a pretty close fight. So, you know, you don't want to, you want to give it all. So you don't have to worry about no robbery or anything. Or, you know, you got to close the show. Even if it's not a knockout, at least, you know, make a statement, win the last round. In a close fight, it could go, you know, it could be 1 or 2 punches, 1 round or 2 rounds here and there, you know, and then you.
Yeah, because these close fights like this, it may just be 1 round of difference, and they're all weighted the same. But if you know in your mind that it might be close, I mean, you just got to leave it all out there in the last round.
Exactly.
See, Jimenez is just pushing forward.
Yeah, it's a very tough guy.
Yeah, you see both guys are having success there, but I think where they're at here favors Jimenez for sure. Want to stay in the corner. Who do you think's fresher right now?
It's kind of even, I think.
A little loose tape there on Jimenez's.
Jimenez throwing
right
more
glove.
punches though, so he might be a little fresher, but that's also his style.
Yeah, and sometimes the judges favor that. Depends on what they're all looking for.
Yep.
Oh, that was a nice right hand there. A little bit of blood now coming out of Miller's lip. Oh, big left hand by Miller, and that hurt Jimenez. I was just going to say that Jimenez was really coming on, and then he just caught him there.
Yeah.
Put him on wobbly legs. And now Jimenez is the one holding on. You land something like that, you want to be careful, but try to close the show, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you can't just run run into a big counter shot, but you gotta put smart pressure.
Another nice right hand. Oh, another one. Oh. And then they both landed, and it looks like Jimenez might have been stronger of the two. This fight was dirty, but it was a very entertaining fight. Both guys had their moments. Whoever wins. Now he goes back into the corner. And later on, we have Kevin Newman taking on Cenk Plana. Richardson Hitchens taking on Nick Galomba. And in the main event, Keith Hunter against Sambar Rachmanov. What do you think of that showbox card real quick as this is ending?
I can't wait to see Kevin Newman. It's a very skillful, talented fighter. I can't wait.
Well, he'll open that up. And here's the end of this fight and the end of this telecast. Badu, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, brother.
And hopefully we have some news on your next fight soon.
Definitely.
All right. Good stuff. So how do you guys have that fight? Memphis started out real strong, but I thought Jimenez came on in the mid-rounds, and it looked like a close fight. And we're the 12th round. When Jimenez was coming on, you saw Miller hit him with something, almost dropped him. And then shortly after that, Jimenez landed a big shot of his own. Ramblin' Ralph Velez. Here in a few moments, we'll have the official results as we go to the scorecards. So that Paul P. Mac McKenzie has Memphis. Thank you, Zane Roberts. Thank you guys for joining us. And no, Badu was not wearing sunglasses. I see like 2 or 3 people ask that question. Unito Quiñones, who did you think won? So Jonathan Torrance has Memphis with the win. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Max DeLuca scored the contest 95 to 93. While judges Tin Cheatham and Lisa Giampa score it 96 to 92. All for your winner by unanimous decision. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Ladarius, Memphis.